Hey, do you struggle with putting on muscle? Or every time you try to put on some muscle, you end up with a lot of fat, a lot of unnecessary fat? If one of those is your problem, keep watching this video and I'm gonna show you how to avoid these mistakes. Yo, what's up guys, I'm ZD and welcome to my new video. And today we're gonna talk about how to bulk properly. And specifically, we're gonna talk about how to avoid putting on fat while bulking, and also we're gonna talk about two different types of bulking. So what exactly is a bulk? If you want to put yourself into a bulking phase, first of all, you have to be in a caloric surplus. What that means is you basically have to eat more than you burn. So you have to eat more calories than you burn, basically to help your muscles recover from training and to potentially grow them bigger and stronger. This muscle building process is also called protein synthesis. So to put it in a simple terms, protein synthesis is basically a process where the training tells the muscle to grow and nutrition supplies the building blocks. But those building blocks are limited because additional calories are gonna store as fat. So let's think of it as a building or a building wall. You basically build the wall with bricks, but when you complete the wall and you have some bricks left, those are gonna store as fat. So when you provide too much nutrition, it's not gonna only store as a muscle, it's also gonna store as fat. So when you think of it as a wall again, if you completed the wall, there's no point in adding more bricks to the wall because your body can only build limited amount of muscle over any particular period. To put it into perspective, as a beginner, you can gain from 1 up to 1.5% of your body weight of pure muscle mass per month. As an intermediate, you can put up from 0.5% to 1% of your body weight of pure muscle per month. And as you progress and are more advanced, you can only put up to 0.5% of your body weight of pure muscle per month. So as you train more, it's eventually harder to put on muscle. So it takes longer than when you're a complete beginner. Also, to be on the same page, I may refer to the same thing as nutrition or energy, because eventually the nutrition transfers to energy, and your goal is to have more energy to build the muscle. But of course, if you're on a cut, if you want to lose weight, then you have to be in a caloric deficit. So you basically need to burn more energy than you gain. And of course, if your calorie or nutrition or your energy intake is too high, it's eventually gonna store as fat. And of course, don't take these numbers as seriously because everyone is different. Everyone has different genetical propositions. Everyone is different, genetically gifted, or someone could be on steroids. It differs. It differs a lot. So what I was saying is that eating big doesn't equal getting big, unless you have a big energy expenditure. For example, if you have a hard physical job and also go to the gym, let's say 5 times a week, or maybe you go for a jog every day, every now and you have a big calorie expenditure, then of course, let's say eating big equals getting big. So if you're struggling to put on muscle or weight in general, it might be because you have a really big daily caloric expenditure. So in that case, you have to eat big. But of course, it's all about tracking your calories, your daily intake, and mainly tracking your weight. So if let's say you're not eating enough, you're not gonna gain weight. If you gain too much weight and see yourself getting fatter, then you just reduce the calories. Also, let's talk about the myth that you can lose weight while gaining muscle. That doesn't work like that if you're in a bulk. Of course, there are some exceptions. Again, mainly new lifters can lose weight and gain muscle. So if you're a new lifter, you can be in a caloric deficit and technically gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. Of course, there are some genetically gifted people who can have this advantage. Then people recovering from muscle loss thanks to muscle memory can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. And of course, people on steroids can do both at the same time. Now let's talk about a bulking method that I personally use, and I would recommend it if you gain some fat while trying to bulk, and that is lean bulk. While on a lean bulk, you're going to be in a, let's say, 200 to 400 caloric surplus above your maintenance. Caloric maintenance is the amount of calories that you burn throughout the day. So let's say your caloric maintenance is 2.5 thousand calories per day. You want to be in a 2,700 to 2,900 to 3,000 calories per day. I'm gonna show you a research that shows two groups. One is with a bigger surplus and one is with a smaller surplus, and the graph shows that the group with a bigger caloric surplus gained more weight, but a bigger portion of that happened to be fat, with just a slightly more muscle mass gained. So if you really want to avoid putting on a large amount of fat, lean bulk is the best option for you. But keep in mind that you are going to put on a little bit of fat anyways. Alright, now let's talk about some aggressive form of bulking with a larger surplus. Often it's called the dirty bulk. There's basically 500 plus calories above your maintenance, and it's often connected with eating whatever you want, so you basically don't worry about what you eat. It's also called a bear mode. The main big disadvantage of that is that you're going to end up with a lot of extra unnecessary fat, so your eventual cutting phase will be a lot longer and significantly harder. But there are some pros, of course. One of them being that if your main goal in the gym is to lift heavy weight, so to increase your strength, this aggressive bulk can help you, because the more energy intake you'll have, the stronger you'll be. Alright, so now we're gonna talk about how to implement an optimal bulk correctly. So let's say you finish your cutting phase and you want to hop on a bulk. So what you want to do is don't immediately increase your daily calories to that surplus, because if you do that, what happens is you'll gain fat quicker than you think. Trust me, I've done this. I'm gonna show you a picture of that. What you want to do is hop on a caloric maintenance after your cutting phase for, let's say, 1 to 2 weeks, and then you're gonna increase your calories every week. Let's say you add 100 calories every week or every 2 weeks until you meet your surplus goal. What is really important, and I've already talked about it earlier, is to track your weight. So by that you can tell if you're gaining more weight than is necessary, or if you're actually gaining any weight. So if you're gaining more weight, you'll simply decrease the calories, and if you're not gaining enough weight, you simply add the calories. And one important tip, I don't think of a bulk as a sprint, think of it more as a marathon, because it's gonna take a couple of months. It's not gonna be in a month, especially if you're advanced. Also, if you're gonna be, let's say, 1 to 2 months and you're bulking and you're not satisfied with your body fat percentage, you can of course hop on a mini cut that can last 2 to 4 weeks. Just a mini cutting phase to get rid of the extra fat, so you're gonna be in a caloric deficit for a while, and then hop on a surplus again until you're satisfied with the weight you've put on. And then of course you can hop on a proper cut, which usually takes about 8 to 12 weeks. Also, another tip is to decrease your calories slightly during your rest days, especially carbs. And now for the last part, is actually a really important part, and that is how to optimally train in a bulking phase. So if you want to gain muscle, you have to train hard because you receive more energy through your food, and that means that you have to actually burn that energy and use it to grow the muscle. So you want to implement high intensity workouts, implement working out till failure. You can implement drop sets as well, and of course progressive overload, because muscle growth mainly depends on the stress that you put on those muscles. So you want to be training with enough frequency, let's say at least 4 to 5 times a week. You want to give it your all in the gym, trust me. You almost want to leave your soul in there, because if you're not training hard enough, even with a smaller surplus, you can still gain more fat than you want to, because your muscles are not going to use it that much because you haven't trained hard enough. So with that being said, that was the basic information about a bulking phase. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're gonna implement something. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment what you think about it, and drop in the comments what's your current body weight. I'm curious, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Have a great day.